Hi. So today is the sixth Yahrtzeit of Moreno Rav Chaim Yisroel Belsky Zatzal. Rav Belsky was a widely respected posek in the Haredi community. He taught at Torah Vodaas for many decades. I'll just pull it up. Many decades, and was also my father's Rebbe when he was in high school in the 1970s. He also was one of the poskim at the Orthodox Union. Rav Belsky wore Techeiles, but didn't actively tell people that they needed to wear it. What many people don't know was his journey to arrive at the conclusion that the Murex Trunculus was the correct source of Techeiles. So there were a few people involved: Rabbi Eliyahu Tavger, Rabbi Eliyahu Kaufman, Rabbi Belsky's nephew Rabbi Yisroel Barkin, and Yeshua Yankelowitz. As many of us know, Rabbi Eliyahu Tavger was the first person to wear Murex Techeiles. Rabbi Tavger's father-in-law, Rabbi Eliyahu Kaufman, was the manager of Camp Aguda and also a close friend of Rabbi Belsky. He made the connection between Rabbi Belsky and Rav Tavger and discussed it presented it to him numerous times. Rabbi Tavger's unique way, which according to Yeshua Yankelowitz was not very yeshivish. Now, Yeshua Yankelowitz at the time of Bachar called Rabbi Belsky something like 18 plus years ago out of the blue, as he already asked him a bunch of different questions before. Rabbi Yankelowitz already was wearing Techeiles, but wanted to approach the Techeiles subject gently. So he made it that he quote unquote just got a talis katan with Techeiles on it. His question to Rabbi Belsky was, should he wear it or not, and what's the issur to wear it? So Rabbi Belsky said that there is no issur at all, that it's a hiddur, and it's a shame that in our generation that people are scared / hesitant to be mehader b'mitzvahs for fear of being associated with certain factions of Klal Yisrael. But that was it. It was more so political than anything. Yeshua then asked him how many Techeiles strings one should wear, which was a blank giveaway that he was wearing. And Rabbi Belsky answered that it should be 2, like Tosfos. Now, as an aside, for tying method, Rabbi Yisroel Barkin, one of Rabbi Belsky's nephews, explained that his uncle advised him on 2 things: 2 blue white strings and 5 knots, nothing else. In terms of tying pattern, he explained that P'til Techeilet tied the strings for him in their default manner, the chinuch method. Let me see if I can pull this up here. The chinuch method. Rabbi Yankelowitz explained to me that Rabbi Belsky had 2 reasons. One was that he cared for aesthetic reasons, that the chulias sets looked even, and Patil's rendition of the chinuch was one tying method that fit the bill. Number 2 was that he didn't want to do away with tradition. Tradition of 7, 8, 11, 13, according to the Gemara, was no less than 7, no more than 13. Most people say it's 7 to 13 chulios. The Raavad / Nashronai Gaon, they are of the opinion that that's krichos, but the majority is chulias. So Rabbi Belsky apparently didn't buy into broken chulias when it came to the tzitzis. When it came to tzitzis with chayos looking nice, but he wanted to keep 5 knots also. So what did 3 wines of 3, 3, 3, and 4 turn into? They turn into 9, 9, 9, and 12, as you can see, and 9, 9, 9, and 12 are all between 7 and 13. That's how he got to that. Now, the fact that he didn't want to do 7, 8, 11, 13 with chulias, 2 of them broken, as per the Radzina Rebbe and Shulchan Aruch Rav's advice, is another story. So, a number of years later, Rabbi Belsky became somewhat anti-Murex for a short period of time. Mechasish Avrech, Rav Meir Schlesinger, wrote a series of articles in the journal Beis Aaron Yisrael against the Murex, bringing various issues. Rabbi Belsky gave an official letter of recommendation on his idea back on February 13th, 2000, I believe, printed in the journal in 2006. Which was the first ever letter he wrote on Techeiles. Anecdotally, Rabbi Yisroel Barkin himself added by email that this letter doesn't prove anything. He was likely trying to make the student feel good about himself and nothing more. This came before his Haskama letter in the Sefer Levush Aaron. Yeshua called Rafi Belsky about it, and being that Rafi Belsky was a Talmid Chacham, went into this matter and raised objectives on it, rattling out the numerous kashas. And Yeshua answered all his questions, which was more convincing than anything he heard earlier. Until then, he only heard one side of the story. Just an aside, I asked Techeiles later on what some of these questions and answers were. He said he doesn't remember offhand, but pretty much all the questions that Rafi Belsky asked is in the small Sefer Levush Haaron. So that's what a lot of people are curious to know. What did Rafi Belsky ask? A lot of the questions were asked and addressed in the Sefer Levush Haaron, which Rafi Belsky gave a different askama later on. So Yeshua Yankelis personally told me that he was on the phone for an hour and a half across 2 different cell phones. This detail is important because when he told Rafi Belsky after 45 minutes that his phone was about to die, Rafi Belsky replied to find a different phone that he was waiting for his return call. This indicated that Rafi Belsky was taking the matter very seriously and very involved in the sugya. He found a different phone and called five minutes later for an additional 45 minutes. After that time, Rafi Belsky said, "Okay, you seem to know a lot about Techeiles. You would seem to know where to get a pair or two. Get me a pair." Finding the beged turned out to be another challenge, being that he needed a size 34 since he wasn't a short person. Anybody that remembers, he was like 6'3", so that itself was an issue. Now, the main reason why Rafi Belsky didn't promote it, but also didn't wear it on this Talis Gadol, was because he didn't want to be associated with the political party, which he felt at the same time was unfortunate that this mitzvah needed to be politicized in the first place. He was the Rosh High Yeshiva of Tarvadas, a Haredi institution, and a posek for the Orthodox Union. He was a very public figure with little to no private life, and therefore was worried that his publicly wearing Techeiles and putting himself out on a limb to do a mitzvah would cause more harm than good, and that he has to pick his fights wisely. In his words to Yeshua Yankelis, quote unquote, "Little can be learned from people whose Rishus HaYachid is in the Rishus HaRabim." But he also felt that others that weren't in the public didn't need to face that type of pressure, and therefore could wear Techeiles publicly. At the same time, he was using a bit of shikul hadas, a little bit of common sense, to arrive at his conclusion, and told others that if they didn't arrive at it, they didn't need to wear it. The result is that he has family members like his nephew, Rabbi Yisroel Belsky, publicly wearing Techeiles, and also family members that are actually rabidly anti-Techeiles. While some might view that as concerning, it can actually be seen as a beautiful thing and as a truma l'chama Torah. Speaking about not putting oneself on a limb, some people might be confused about this picture. This is a picture of a Talis Gadol that Rafi Belsky was gifted, but he never actually. He was gifted, but he never actually wore. Rabbi Barkin told me that he gave his uncle this Talis Gadol and a beautiful Talis bag. I don't remember for the birthday gift, a Hanukkah present, one of those. And Rafi Belsky basically said thanks for the Talis bag, and that was it. He was gifted this, but he never wore it. I want to add another thing, that this is a quote from Rabbi Eliyahu Farrell from the Orthodox Union, right where Rabbi Belsky worked. Quote unquote, "It used to be that wearing Techeiles, the kind that became available around 1990, was unique to the religious Zionist camp. In recent years, it has made inroads into parts of the Haredi world, although I'm reliably informed that Moran Hagon Rav David Feinstein Shlita opposes wearing them. I am reliably informed that Moran Hagon Rav Eli Beravach Vogel Shlita does wear them. It is no secret that Rav Belsky wore them. At the request of a friend's son, I asked Rav Belsky about his approach to Techeiles. Rav Belsky told me, quote unquote, it is the real thing. There are kamarayas. When I asked him if he recommends wearing them, he said that in general, he doesn't tell people what to do, and that he did not want to become the quote unquote public advocate of Techeiles. In the Sefer Nefesh Rav Schachter writes that Rav Soloveitchik opposed attempts to restore lost elements of the Masorah via scientific or other means. The chilazon, like any other chetza in the Masorah, must be identified exclusively by the Masorah itself. This reportedly was the Beis Halevi's objection to the Rizner Techeiles. I asked Rav Belsky about scientifically restoring lost elements of the Masorah. He said that with solid rayas as keilut, there is a Masorah, quote unquote. So there is that. And speaking about Rav Schachter, here you have a picture of Rav Schachter and Rabbi Yisroel Belsky working at the OU. So I just wanted to add one more thing. Initially, I was under the impression that Rabbi Herschel Schachter had a direct influence on Rabbi Belsky wearing Techeiles, since they both worked together at the OU. I was wrong. Rabbi Schachter clarified that Rabbi Belsky took on Techeiles independently of him. And when I spoke with Rabbi Schachter this past Sukkos, Rabbi Schachter half joked that everything he said, Rabbi Belsky said the opposite. He said black, Rabbi Belsky said white. So the fact that they both worked together at the OU and they both wore Techeiles, that was a coincidence. So just taking a look here. Somebody wrote what were the questions and answers? Did you look it up? So apparently the questions are what are in the Levush Haran. Yeah, so all the questions and answers are found in the Levush Haran. It's a small pamphlet. You can download a PDF of that on techeiles.org. It's Techeiles. It's one of the PDFs that are there. The above said, may Rav Chaim Yisroel Halevi ben Dov ber Belsky's neshama have an aliyah.